Dr. Bob Olivieri here on a Tuesday, as is always the case. And good morning, Dr. Bob. How you doing today?
Nice to be here. What I was going to do today is I was going to talk a little bit about thyroid disease, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it up a little bit, and we'll talk about that next week. But I'm going to talk about a little bit about, I know you were at the Feel Great Nate workshop that we did at Lucky Bones this past Wednesday. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because I want to talk a little bit about what the difference was between, if anybody's ever been to one in the past, any of the workshops, and the big difference between both of those. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because thyroid's going to be a little bit longer of an explanation here, and I know I'm not going to be able to finish all the material that I really had prepared for it. So gotcha. I really want to go and we'll talk a little bit about what are some of the different services that particular program offers, and how it corresponds exactly with, if you do suffer from diabetes, thyroid disease, any of those particular conditions we'll talk about, how it's absolutely the perfect thing to actually join.
Well, what I wanted to say was that as all the times that I interviewed you and speak to you here every Tuesday morning, and we talked about Feel Great Nate, when I went to the seminar, there were obviously things that you covered that we didn't cover on the air, and I learned a lot more by going to the seminar.
Yeah, well, I try to put it together in kind of like a concise manner within there. I had a pretty sick patient yesterday, somebody that has suffered with Graves' disease for a long period of time. She was talking about possibly selling her business, and extremely successful business, and she's been suffering from it. And she came in and she filled out these questionnaires, and it was like a little strange, because there was like a little bit of back pain, a little bit of neck pain, and I started talking to her. But then she puts in there Graves' disease. Well, I mean, there's no cure for Graves' disease, and of course, when you're managing something as serious of a condition of this, which is it's a thyroid disorder.
Oh, that's a thyroid disorder. Okay.
Yeah, it's a hyperthyroidism. Of course, you have to have an endocrinologist involved and all that. But she wanted to be able to get some nutritional support for that, and the person that sent her over, I had helped, and this particular person that we referred her over has gone through the entire functional medicine program in our office. She did all the diagnostic testings that were available and did all the things, because she viewed health as the most important asset that she had in her life. And so this particular other individual was feeling the same exact way. She said, I feel like my life's falling apart. I'm a young girl, and I just really have to, change my lifestyle. So again, she was going to sell a very successful business. So we had a long talk about that, and she kept on asking me a lot of questions, and I said, the best way for me to explain what I do is for you to attend that seminar. I said, because we can talk straight for 20 minutes right now, and I'm only showing you the elephant's ear. I'm not showing you the whole picture.
Right. And
it's not fair to you, and it's really not fair to me to explain to you just a part of a huge program that has been designed to like really, really cover every aspect, at least what I know, into a single program. At least the advanced program is. And she was like, okay, and we'd go along for about 2 more minutes. And again, she had more questions and more questions. And finally, after the consultation, I just, we were going through, I said, let me fix the musculoskeletal aspect of this, because there's a big part of that also in the Feel Great Nate program. But we'll address all of those endocrine problems, all the hormonal problems that you're having, all of the, the fatigue and the hair falling out, and all the different things that she had, memory disturbance, all the different things that she's having. I said, we'll address that, but we'll address them after you see the workshop, because, this program may or may not be for you.
Right.
But every word that's coming out of your mouth, you're going to see a slide up there that really kind of pertains to you. So let's deal with it after you do that. And she agreed to do that.
The other thing about the presentation is you ask questions of the audience there, and they respond. And I could see a lot of times when you were making some statements, they were nodding, they were saying, yes, I've experienced that, or yes, I understand what you're saying, Dr. Bob. So you really touched people there with something that affected them.
Well, I just basically state the obvious that everybody really knows. Everybody knows. I'm not divulging any great information. It's just a problem. Unfortunately, in our healthcare system, you kind of feel trapped, and you feel like there's no other alternative. You have a disease, here's a pill. Here, you have a disease, here's a pill, and that's wonderful for a lot of conditions, but not for chronic illness. Health comes from within. And there's no pill that you're going to give to be able to allow your body to heal itself. If you're talking about an acute affection or something like that, of course, that's we need to be able to do that. But for some serious things, we might be able to support those conditions, and that's where we work with medicine to be able to develop a program that's going to be best for you. But I think we have a lot to offer. I mean, an awful lot to offer. And the reality of it is right now, you attend a functional medicine conference, any place in the world, you're going to see 500 medical doctors just learning this new stuff. It's new to them anyway, and they're just blown away by it, because it makes sense to everybody. No matter who listens to it, it just makes sense.
We're talking with Dr. Bob Olivieri. Before we take a break, I just wanted to say that watching the news last night, I like to watch the network news, and literally every commercial on the network news is for some sort of pill, drug, infusion. I don't know what the deal is, but I have a friend of mine who is a doctor said that people come into his office and they say, I saw this drug advertised on TV and I want to take it. I think it's going to help me. And you're battling that as well, the overwhelming marketing that they're doing. Billions
and billions and billions of dollars are made. So it's a really tough industry to break in. I don't know whether our healthcare system, although a lot of people say it's broken, I don't think that you're going to change that. The only way that comes about is with education. And I think all the fancy diagnostic testing that we do, if you have enough people uprising, I think then insurance is going to start to say, maybe there is some other alternatives. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into all this bizarre. I hear about alternatives that I just think are just ridiculous, but when it just comes to basic nutrition, I think everybody will agree that you probably should pay attention to that in your life.
Agreed. And it's all part of Feel Great Nate. We'll get to talk to more about that with Dr. Bob Olivieri right here on the program, as we do every Tuesday. Dr. Bob Olivieri joining us on a Tuesday. Once again, we were going to talk about thyroid disease, but we changed gears a little bit to talk about the Feel Great Nate program. I happened to go to the seminar at Lucky Bones last week, and the food is unbelievable. It really is amazing.
It really is. So when people think that they have to struggle to go through this program, and everybody, it's amazing when I walk in the streets or go into a place of business, people come up and start talking about the Feel Great Nate program, and they go, "Oh yeah, it's a diet program." It's amazing how many different perspectives people have of this particular program. So I'll tell you the one thing that I worked on really hard last night, and I got up this morning, and I also worked on it, is we're going to try to make a very, very strong presence on the internet, on radio, to be able to educate some people on exactly what this program is. Last night I spent time, and this morning on writing scripts for a video presentation on exactly what this particular program is, because every single person that's ever walked away from that seminar, and like we sit here, every single week, but
right.
Every single person that's walked away from that seminar going, I had no idea you offer anything like this in Cape County, or any place. I mean, the one we give you some information at there, and you give us some insurance information, and we can give you the exact dollar amount of exactly what your program is going to cost you, because everybody's insurance is different. Some people have $10 copayments, other people have $50 copayments, some people have $5,000 deductibles. So we take the time, our staff, after that workshop, and we will work up exactly what the cost is going to be for you, and then we call you and let you know, and we just say, if you want to do it, good. If you don't want to do it, and all the payment plans are involved in it. Well, our very first call that we made yesterday signed up for the advanced program. She was there with her son-in-law, and her daughter had actually come in like 3 weeks ago and signed up for the basic program. She made the telephone call right after that workshop, called up and said, you need to do the advanced program.
Wow.
So all three of them signed up for the advanced program, because they didn't. The daughter that came to the initial workshop last year, which she just came in December, we never made this presentation. So it's a brand new presentation. So if you've ever come to Feel Great Nate and you were thinking about doing it, come to another workshop, because I think your eyes will pop out of your head how advanced this particular protocol is. And so what I did last night, we've been writing these scripts, and so now I'm going to try to do a very short video presentation of maybe about 6.5 minutes, and then we're going to also do something that is possibly the entire workshop and put it online.
When you say Feel Great in 8, I mean, what does the 8 represent?
8 can either be 8 weeks or 8 months. So the advanced program is 8 months. It goes 6 to 8 months, but it's usually by the time you're done about 8 months. So what we have found is when somebody goes through a basic program, they're wonderful. I did a final evaluation on a young lady who, if I mentioned her name, she said I could, but I won't.
Okay, good.
But she just she was the mother of a bride. She lost over 30 pounds in 8 weeks.
Wow.
But she worked out hard, and people go, oh, that's not natural. I'm telling you, you can't get more natural in the way that you're going to lose weight than this. But she worked extremely hard. I mean, and she she looked absolutely magnificent, and we give you a grade. We give you a wellness score when you come in. We do, when we do a metabolic assessment on you, we do fitness evaluations and all these different scores. There's so many different components to this. And when she started out, she had a failing grade, and last night she ended up with an 88, which is spectacular.
Nice.
Usually, if you jump a grade in 8 weeks, you're doing really, really well. But she went from a failing grade to she looks spectacular. And when she was leaving last night, she was bawling her eyes out. She was just so happy. And as a result, 5 people at our last seminar were there because of her.
Really?
They were there because they were all friends of hers. Some were family that said, "Wow, if she can do this, I can do this."
Well, Dr. Bob, this is not a magic wand. This is a commitment. And like you said, it's not for everybody.
It's not. You have to be committed. If somebody is so used to having, taking a pill and feeling better, that's not what this is about. There is a process of health and how you're going to heal. And we spell out that process, and we talk about the different pillars of health, the 6 pillars of health that you have to address, and how each one of those influence something else. Everything from detoxification issues to hormonal issues to micronutrients to exercise to all these things. And we talk about how they fit together. And again, I think my best patients are by far educated patients, people that are smart. Somebody that doesn't get this, probably this is not their program. Go back to their old healthcare system. But I always ask you, if you're really not doing so well, why would you continue to do the exact same thing? Do you think you're going to get another answer? Like if I go to a hormone seminar or a thyroid seminar, I'll usually say, how many people here have been to a doctor for this? How many other people have been to? How many people have been to 2? How many people have been to 3? How many people have been to 4? Did you get any other different answers? You don't, because there's a system there. And in particular, some conditions that system fails them, and so this is an alternative way. And
it's a great alternative. You don't have to go to Mexico. You don't have to go to Europe or Canada.
No.
It's right here in Cape May County.
No. I mean, it used to be like, kind of like ridiculous when you would talk about trying to treat some chronic conditions with nutrition and diet and exercise. But it's so much more to that. That Gray's patient yesterday, she kept on trying to nail it down to, because I don't want to get into a little bit more. She knows a lot about organic food. Well, I'll just leave it at that. She knows a lot, probably more than I do, right? She knows a lot. And she kept on talking about food and food and food and food and food. And, I eat properly. I go, it has nothing to do with that. That's the end product of the things you have to do. That's a lifestyle change, but that has nothing to do with what we're trying to heal. So yes, there's specific supplementation for specific problems based upon the testing that we just did. So the tests guide the program. And if you're not doing the testing, can't my family doctor do them? Well, if he could have, he would have. And there's not a single one that we're doing that anybody in the room has ever raised their hand for that they ever had done, ever in their entire life. So my answer is, you need the testing to be able to get the answers to what's going on with you.
Dr. Bob Olivieri, you can reach him at his office on Rio Grande Boulevard in Rio Grande. Rio Grande Boulevard, Route 47. It's 609-886-8585 if you want to find out more about the Feel Great Innate program. And Dr. Bob will be back in just a little bit to talk more about the program and how it can affect you and the success stories that he has to pass along as well. Dr. Bob Olivieri joining us once again on Tuesday, as he normally does. And Dr. Bob and I are talking about the Feel Great Innate campaign. I didn't sign up for it yet, but I did go to the seminar last week, and it was a real eye-opener. A lot of great information that came out with that. And
Phil, you don't have to sign up for it. I just want people in the seats to actually try to explain to them a little bit about what GMO foods do, what are some of the things, the toxins that we get exposed to, some of the things you can do to make some lifestyle changes, and it might only be a couple small things that you have to do in your life. You may be living like a pretty good, clean life, but if you're suffering from some symptoms that you're just not really happy with, like weight gain or brain fog or fatigue and those things, if you come, you might only have 1 or 2 little lifestyle changes that you have to do, and the purpose of the seminars are not for people to sign up. Did I try to get people hey, you need to do this?
No, you didn't.
No, I mean, I don't. I just want to give out information. I'm trying to give out information so people that have been looking for something like this say, wow, I didn't know it was available. As you know, we have a really, really busy chiropractic office. This is the last thing in the world that I need to do, to spend probably another 10 hours a week of my personal time trying to do this, like to do one-on-ones with my patients for an hour, like 6 of them or 6 or 7 of them.
Right.
I don't need to do that. I really don't. I just do it because it's a passion of mine. It's something. You are truly changing people's lives. And so if somebody comes over and they go, yeah, but I'm not sure if I can. I was like, okay, good. This is not for everybody. I say this all the time. This is not for everybody. This is for someone who is truly seeking health. They're seeking it. They've tried everything else, and they're just seeking some other alternatives. And if you come and you listen, and this makes sense to you, then we have a program for you. If this does not make sense to you, then this is not your program. It's really that simple.
And one of the things that you do, you actually give some healthy recipes that people can use to help them out. I mean, it's very natural, very, very comprehensive, and I was surprised at that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're going through the program, you're going to get meal plans, you're going to get recipes, you're going to get grocery lists to be able to do that. You're getting a cookbook that's about 1,000-page. Don't hold me to that, but I know it's a whole lot. That you'll have as far as being able to follow this. You have a manual that is I should know the number, but it is a really, really, it's bigger than the one I have on my desk right now. And it gives you a tremendous amount of guidance from stress reduction. We have all these different topics in there, different amounts of information. And during the consultations that we do in the lifestyle coaching, what we'll do is we're going to talk about, what are the most important things to you. We're going to go through your house, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to say, what does your bedroom look like? What time do you go to sleep at night?
Go through my house. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, if we're going to look at your bedroom, you're spending 8 hours, hopefully 8 hours a day in bed, right? So you need to get restful sleep. What are some of the things that might be interfering with that? Because your cortisol levels change, your melatonin levels change, your body repairs itself from between midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. So what are you doing during that time period? Are you in bed? You're asleep. We want to look at what's the lighting in your room? Do you sleep with a television on? That does certain things to your brain chemistry. How frequently are you getting up in the middle of the night that you have to urinate? Those types of things. It has a lot to do with lifestyle.
It's interesting. My sweetie sometimes falls asleep with the TV on. She likes to watch these crime drama shows and murder shows. She dreams about being chased in her dreams, that people are after her, and she's running away, scared. And in the background, she's got the TV on with these murder stories. So you hear this stuff even though you're asleep, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Some people, when I grew up, I really wanted a television on for me to fall asleep. I know that I get a more restful sleep when I turn it off. And it's hard for me, especially. But there's a couple steps that you can do before you get into bed to when you do get into bed, you fall asleep within 10 minutes. But there are a lot of things that you can do right before you go to bed that you will never fall asleep within 10 minutes because you've changed your entire adrenal system and your brain's just firing on all circuitry. So we're going to discuss that. We'll talk about certain things you can do that they're worried about what they have to do the next day. There's some journaling things that you can do. But we're going to sit down. We'll discuss that for 50 minutes, 6 or 8 times during this 8-month program, because there are issues that you have in your personal life that affect how well you can heal. Some stressful relationships. What are some of the things that you can do about that to actually, if you don't like going to work every day, if you have stresses at work, what are some of the things that you can do to try to modify some of those things, make things better? And really, sometimes you can't change the situation, but sometimes you can change your perception. You are what you think about all day long. So if you perceive something negatively before you start to enter into whatever that situation is, guess what? It's going to turn out in a bad way. So there are certain types of techniques, couple different types of exercises that you can do, a couple different little procedures you can do to be able to change that. We try to provide you with that. So when I say this thing is comprehensive, I will never be able to explain it in a simple matter. And even in that lecture, in that workshop, that goes on for an hour,
Right.
I'm still not going to be able to explain all the different things you get. My always my entire life is to over deliver what I promise. So hopefully people will see that. And hopefully that, the people that we've had, come through our office, most of the time when they're kind of like impressed about the way we run our office, hopefully they'll understand, I try my very, very, very best. I may not be the answer, but I do try my best.
Well, when is the next Feel Great Nate seminar going to be held?
It is not this Thursday, but it's the following Thursday in our office.
Okay.
So once a month it will be at Lucky Bones, and once a month it will be in our office.
So there'll be 2 opportunities per month for you to go to these seminars.
Correct.
Okay, and this next one is an even a little bit more different presentation than what we've had before.
Correct. It will be if you've ever seen it before, besides this past one at Lucky Bones, it will be totally different. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're probably not going to recognize it. We only have like probably 3 or 4 of similar slides. Feel
Great Nate is the program. Dr. Bob Olivieri's office. You can reach him at 609-886-8585. I'm looking at my computer, so you go ahead and tell us.
609-886-8585. Yes.
And what is the website?
It's OlivieriChiropractic.com. That's another thing I'm very, very, very excited about. Within a month, you will have an entire Feel Great Nate website that will provide you with volumes of information.
All right. So once again, every Tuesday we talk with Dr. Bob Olivieri. Dr. Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on, Phil. Thank you for having